Yeah, this your boy Quite Familiar in the lab. Basically, I'm here today. I want to address just a little query that can be major in the long run. This is more helpful to artists who's starting off, artists who's already making music, trying to make it off the promo side of things into bigger things. This is helpful commentary for you. I've been through this before, not going through it now. I just want to address something just real quick and real brief. Basically, my query right now is with, you got a lot of beat makers and producers out here. You got a lot of real ones and you got a lot of fake ones. This is more towards like the fake ones because they do a lot of different things, and I want to show you how you can address these beat makers or such producers and call their bluff in a heartbeat, so you know if you're dealing with one that's real or fake. The one main issue nowadays, you got beat makers and producers who stealing concepts, stealing beats, mostly stealing beats. They will sit there and take a beat from another producer, another beat maker, probably change the name of it, or try to sit there and the whole entirely try to make it seem like it's their work. But for an artist, you need to be aware of these situations, because when you're sitting there doing your music, everything may be coming out good, but you might get stuck in a situation that you're going to be called on the carpet, and if you can't explain yourself, it can lead to a bad situation, loss of contract, or possibly getting you sued, depending on who you're dealing with. If these people can't represent you, especially if they're a fake person, they're stealing something, they're not letting you know that they're stealing from the beginning, it can hurt you in the long run. So my thing is, I want to give you some helpful commentary so it can alleviate you from having these problems. Number one, this is how you can find out if you're dealing with a fake beat maker or producer. Now, you get a lot of beat makers who hear something somebody else have. They might have a friend come over or another producer make a beat on their computer, on their equipment, and etc. And they hear it and they like it, and they might have a particular artist in mind. So they want to throw that artist on that beat, but not taking the right permission or getting the right permission from the person who originally made it, because it wasn't them. So how you can address that is, which I did. Okay, I like this beat. I'll ask you, did you make that beat? You tell me, yeah. Okay, there's a couple ways how you can go about that. Number one, know that beat maker, know that producer, know them well. Spend a lot of time with them. Learn their techniques of how they make beats. So if you hear this banging trap beat, you never heard it before. You're like, wow, this joint hot, I like it. Let me get that. They're like, alright, did you make this? They say, yeah, okay. Question number one, what's the BPMs? That's the beat per minute. The beat per minute, it determines how fast, how slow the beat is. If you're going from 80 up to 140, that could be anything from a party, a techno, a hip-hop beat, a trap beat, and etc. From 80 down, could be anything from a smooth hip-hop beat or R&B beat, or anything within that criteria, from like jazz, anything that's like smooth and sexy, but slow and laid back and stuff like that. That's the difference. Number two, how I can identify. Okay, you made this beat. A good producer with a good knowledge of how he make his beats and the instruments he use, this should be my next question. Can you tell me what instruments you use? Anybody can say, I use hats, kicks, bass, etc., etc., etc. No, can you be more specific of what you use? Did you use open hats? Did you use closed hats? Did you use 808s? Did you use a kick with that? When you made your melody, did you use a brass? Did you use a flute? Did you use a grand piano? Did you use a regular piano? Did you use a triton? You see what I'm getting at? When a beat maker or producer make beats, they know what instruments they're using. They know their BPMs, which is them too. Number three, do you still have your masters? For example, what I mean by the masters, this, as you see, is the project of the beat that's playing right now. right here is the name of the beat. I'm using FL Studio 10 producer diction, and it would say the name of the beat .flp, which is the Fruity Loops profile file. Only a person who made that beat will have that master. Before they set their MP3 or anything, they will have that master. If that person didn't originally make that beat, they probably wouldn't have that master. You gotta excuse me, I'm hot. But that's not necessarily true on that aspect, because it's a lot of times, even like myself, I made beats for like so many years that I put them on flash drives, external hard drives, SD cards, memory cards. So you might not see me with the master. But most people who still stays with their software, same equipment, you know, nothing changed, they should still have their masters, unless they're using a demo. The fourth thing is, okay, I would ask a person, okay, you made that beat, if 1, 2, or 3, I can't get my answer for that, okay, even if I'm still not satisfied, can you sit there and make a sample? Not what I mean a sample beat, like you sample and make a beat. Can you just give me a small sample? Basically, can you sit there and take and make 1 minute, 60 seconds, a verse and a chorus, intro and a verse, however you want to call it. Can you just make that from scratch right now and let me see your beat style? Because if this beat that you're looking at is hot, but this person make a beat and it sounds nothing like that style, you know that person is lying. You know that person is a thief. Because all producers and beat makers, we all have our own style, touch, and signature of how we make our beats. So even if you hear something might sound a little different, you can still tell, like this particular instruments we might use, a particular way we throw drops in it. We all have our own signature that classify us, and it shows our characteristics of that we're that original beat maker. I mean, it's just real. The other thing is, know the history of that beat maker, that producer. Know the history of, and it don't gotta be long-term history. Know the history of the people he collaborated. Know the history of the people that he previously worked with, whether it's other beat makers and etc. You don't have to go around asking for their opinions, but you can also find out, you know, helpful info about this one particular producer. Is he good? Like, you know, do he make all the stuff original, even if he sampled? You know what I mean? You can listen to different beats. Like, I can play an original beat like this. I could go sample a beat and play that beat, and you can still be able to identify that I made that beat, because you're going to hear my twist. You're going to hear my style in every type of beat that I make. So that's how you can determine when you're dealing with a fake producer or a beat maker. There's a lot of fake beat makers and producers out here. Also, there's a lot of fake artists too who would take beats, whether it's an industry beat, just because it might be something you might not heard before, because you might not listen to that person. You can probably listen to Drake all the time, never listen to T.I., hear a beat from T.I., no signature, no hooking it from the original label he recorded with or whatever, and they'll bring to you and tell you that's their beat and it's original. Come to find out, it's not that beat. And if you had a producer pass you off something like that, best believe in the long run you will get sued. So watch out for these fake people. Try to deal with real people. I mean, it's hard to determine, but if you follow them simple steps, you will know. Like I said, I'm going to keep it brief. This is your boy, quite familiar, DT Entertainment. Keep rocking. Holla at your boy. You know where to find me at. Reverb Nation, Backspace, DT Entertainment 4 for them hot beats. Some for download. Some you can just buy them if you want to. DT Entertainment at hotmail.com. You can buy it directly from me. Holla. 1.